wants green bills, too much of them, is in trouble eventually. Yeah, that green bill loses value daily.
What they see is that each time to feel more secure, they like to have their money invested in property and living, while other people actually do prefer to have the physical green bill on their possession to feel like to not feel empty when it comes to money actually. So, what do you think about?
Look, a balance of all is the key. But whoever wants green bills, too much of them, is in trouble eventually. Yeah, that green bill loses value daily. Now, look, we are a company, my core company, Arms and McGregor International Realty, does real estate. So it's very important that you understand and you know what are we talking about when we talk assets. Not only real estate, any other kind of asset, but specifically real estate. We are in a business that allows people to create wealth. You need to start by saving. You need at least a down payment, if not a full payment. You need to start by saving. So it's a cycle. You need to have the green bills to be able to have anything else but the green bills. Isn't it? And then you need to invest the green bills in something that grows in value. Because if you don't, it will be dropping in value. Yeah? Don't you hear from your parents that, 20, 30 years ago, bread was peanuts? For example, when your father today gives you 100 dirhams or mother gives you 100 dirhams, so I'm giving you 100 dirhams. When I used to see 100 dirhams before, I used to buy 3 Mars bars for a penny, for example. Now we're sitting here and each is from a country, so talking currency is difficult. But in my country, for example, they say a Mars bar was quarter of a lira, few pennies. That's the concept of money. Money that disappears. Money is nearest to fuel. Yeah? It's nearest to combustibles. But it does, it evaporates with time. Why? Because it drops in buying power. And the value of money is the value of its buying power. Money has a value because somebody promised a value to that penny. And that changes between one another. Doesn't it? So that's why a rupee is different to a dollar, is different to a pound, is different to a dirham. That variance in value is the variance in the promise. When that changes, it changes. So buying assets, you need always to keep a short-term fund, a reserve fund, because the lack of availability of money is a problem. Regardless if you have assets or not, specifically non-liquid assets, and property in general is non-liquid assets or difficult to liquidate assets. And when you have those, you need to have beside it cash. The right ratio of cash to property and other assets is perfect. Now for me, I advise people to go for what they understand, and I do understand property very well. I try to understand stocks, equities, commodities, bonds, and I do have understanding of all. It's not so solid on some, it's very solid on others. However, I'm most comfortable in what I understand, feel, and has intrinsic value. You tell me put your money in gold, I tell you stop. I can't eat it, nobody else can. It's accumulating. The rarity of it is never confirmed. It's an opinion today. It may change in the future. Property has intrinsic value, although there's big disruptions that can happen to the property industry. And we are one of the industries that has been very rarely disrupted in the past 50, 100, 200 years. There's things that are coming that do create real disruption. the concept of owning property and the concept of property value and developing property and that's coming. There's no way it doesn't. However, still, if you understand it, you have your eye on it, you can invest in it safely. You have a reserve fund of cash beside you. Don't overinvest. We always say don't overinvest. You've been playing around with the videos and you've been hearing about don't ever overinvest. That's why we never sell heat. Yeah? Just buy, man. Buy an off-plan property, you resell it and you'll make money. It doesn't work that way. Dreams work that way. Reality doesn't. Except occasionally, coincidentally. And I don't believe any one of you would love to build his life around a coincidence. Yeah? So, have money. Not bad to have 5 to 10% of your net worth, depending on the size of your net worth, in cash. Yeah? Call it a reserve fund, an investment fund, security fund, but there should be 3 to 6 months of payments as a reserve fund you never touch. And then some money, which is put in a properly allocated asset distribution, call it a fund, distributed into several asset classes, depending on your age, depending on your net worth, the size of, and then run beyond that with what? With what? Run beyond that with your vision to the future of when do you relocate some money from an asset to another. And with your income growing with time, add to it every now and then. Have you read Benjamin Graham? Okay, he has a book called Intelligent Investor. Read it. It's beautiful. If you don't, you have access to Arms and McGregor knowledge base. Yeah? Go into Arms and McGregor knowledge base and read it. It is, by the way, you have around 1,000 books there, which are available for free. Go in and read. Intelligent Investor. Benjamin Graham is the father of value investing. Do you hear about Warren Buffett? Benjamin Graham is the guru behind the concept. Yeah? Read it. You'll enjoy it. And money will mean differently to you at that time.